Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. If you're in the United Kingdom and you buy yourself a newspaper every morning, on the front of some of them you may well see Chelsea's manager today. And whether or not you believe Graham Potter deserves to be in the Chelsea managerial job or not, the reasons why Graham Potter will be on your front page or your back page is because he's been receiving emails of death threats from certain members of the Chelsea fan base, and today I want to express how I can absolutely never, despite any kind of frustration or anger towards a manager, you can never condone behaviour that severely crosses a line that is there. It's an imaginary line, but there is a line that can be crossed. There's a physical line where if you go and smack GP in the face, then he's going to have to go and see a GP, but you're going to be in serious trouble with the police. But then there is that imaginary line where some people, as human beings, we've been told that sticks and stones may break my bones and words will never hurt me. But at the end of the day, Graham Potter is also, as well as being the Chelsea manager who's struggling right now, he's a family man. And if people are wishing death upon your kids and yourself, then this is, of course, going to affect the well-being and the mental well-being of Graham Potter and all of those around him as well. So in order for Graham to do the best job he possibly can as Chelsea manager, it's not very easy to have to micromanage all of the additional things that come with receiving death threats from fans of the club that you manage, where you're turning up to the training ground every day, you're turning up to Stamford Bridge, whether it's in your car, or do we need to airdrop him right now in a helicopter and land him on the pitch with snipers around to make sure there isn't an idiot around? Death threats are something that we cannot laugh about, we cannot joke about. They need to be taken seriously, and whoever it is sending these messages, if on the off chance I get over 2 million views a month on this channel, the majority of them are Chelsea fans, if you're the one sending death threats to our manager, whether I think he should have been gone or not, get the hell out of our football club. Stop what you're doing. It isn't just about football. This is a human level that we're talking about here. It cannot happen, and to see it go to this kind of extent, it does make you sit back, or at least it should make you sit back and wonder again about the words that we use when we're talking to one another, be it on this YouTube platform, be it on social media. There is ways to go about expressing. I kind of got caught between the two words there and didn't say either of them correctly. There is a way to express all of the negativity. And I think each and every one of us, myself included, need to hold ourselves accountable for the way that we try and deliver our opinions, our messages. So, Graham Potter in the news again for all the wrong reasons, but this, no matter what kind of job you're doing as the manager of Chelsea Football Club, this takes it way beyond anything that could be deserved. Criticism can be given in ways where you don't need to wish death upon those in which you are criticising. Moving away from that part, I really wanted to address that just in case any of you sending these emails to Graham Potter just so happen to watch these videos. I'd like to hope that you're not watching my videos, but if you are, the message I hope is now clear. Let's also discuss Graham Potter's press conference yesterday, which, to be fair to Graham Potter, I think this is one of the better press conferences. And I know that some people at the moment are either saying, like, you shouldn't be criticising a press conference. What does that tell you? We know that football managers are always kind of, that's the response when it's like, okay, we've got to go and talk to the media again. Graham Potter has known ever since he's been Chelsea manager that the media will come in to that room and the questions are going to be about, is the job too big for you, Graham? Do you not get angry ever, Graham? Why don't you ever get angry, Graham? You're not like those that have sat in this seat before you. And I can imagine at this point in time, whilst Graham Potter is dealing with what we've just spoken about as well as the results and everything else, he walks in to the room and he goes on about he's sorry he's late because he's just been in a crisis meeting. I like this. Making light of a bad situation is often a good way to kind of navigate away from all of the stress that could potentially come from a negative moment. We're talking about psychology here. We're talking about individual self-management. As a human being, Graham Potter is under significant pressure. Whether or not this crisis meeting, emergency meeting was even held this week is still up for debate unless you have literally been a fly on the wall or in and around the walls in Cobham this week. I think it's got to a point where Chelsea have been the topic of the town this week, despite Champions League football, Europa League, Man United, Barcelona drama. Chelsea have probably still been the most talked about club in Europe this week due to the situation that we've left ourselves in. Throughout the press conference also yesterday, Graham Potter, he sounded confident. I think there has to be a natural buzz that comes around a fixture when Chelsea and Tottenham play one another. If you can't get excited for a game like the one that we're playing tomorrow, then you can't ever get excited for anything. And I think the optimism at the moment is coming from the fact that it really can't get much worse than a defeat to Southampton. If we're being realistic, other than the emotional attachment that we have to this game tomorrow because it is our biggest rivals, it's away from home, it's against our ex-manager who won us a Premier League and an FA Cup. Take the emotion away, to be beaten away at Tottenham is a far more expected thing than to be beaten at home to Southampton. So I think in terms of the way that we can approach this game, it's still a bit of like, let's just go out there and enjoy our football and play our football, because the only way that fortunes are going to realistically turn around here is if everyone starts walking around the place with a smile on their face. So I'm going to be going through my match preview for this game against Spurs a little bit later on. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, and if you're here and you still haven't hit the like button, please do so. So you'll see my starting 11, but I think in terms of all of the pressure that Potter's been under, we have seen what he's had to say about the death threats that we began this video with. From a footballing perspective, I think he handled that press conference yesterday absolutely fantastically. So, as I've said here on the channel, I may think that Potter might not be the right man, but I'm also going to actively gauge and support where I think it's necessary because he is our manager and I'm a Chelsea fan and I want him to succeed. Straight up, I'm not one of these fans right now who's looking at that game tomorrow saying, please lose. And trust me, I've seen some of your comments on these videos. Do you ever suggest that you want Chelsea to lose a game because you don't like the manager more than you like Chelsea winning is, in my opinion, a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. You should want Chelsea to win every single game. I want Potter to succeed. I've said this all week long because people seem to be misconstruing different opinions here on the internet right now. I also want to discuss Enzo Fernandez. Has also done an interview this week and we've found out quite a lot about this transfer from the man himself, which is always nice to not have to just guess how Chelsea got Enzo Fernandez. It's also come out this week, Man City wanted him, Real Madrid wanted him, but Chelsea managed to make the difference. And I think once again, during a time where we can criticise new ownership for the way that they're supposedly backing this manager who's won 2 in 15 games, we move on, and whenever there is a positive story, I need to talk about those ones as well, because I don't just want this to be a negative place where my opinion of Potter being the man I want to go is the overriding message. That's not what my goal is here with GBFC. So the fact that Chelsea were approaching Enzo Fernandez even before the World Cup in Qatar from November through to December just goes to show how much work is being put in during the early phases here of this Todd Boehly era on scouting to be able to see a talented footballer even before the world amplifies his name thanks to fantastic World Cup from Enzo, winning the World Cup with Argentina, which, yes, from an economic point of view, absolutely raised his price through the roof because he became one of the most expensive young assets in world football. But Enzo Fernandez as a footballer, as a man with individual qualities that can transition into Chelsea bidding, Chelsea buying, Chelsea signing, Enzo playing for Chelsea Football Club, he was already showing some fantastic ability and talent statistically and also from the naked eye if people were watching him. So, just almost dropped my pen on the floor. Chelsea approached Enzo before the World Cup and then during December we were getting things done. So even though it took us right until the death of deadline day to get this signing over the line, Chelsea were putting in the groundwork long before. So as everybody is getting caught up in sending abuse to Graham Potter or being disgusted by current results of the club, let's also look at the Enzo Fernandez comments where he says Fans have got to get behind the manager, get behind the team. Tie all of this in with what we've heard this week about there not being a discord in the dressing room. Players are still playing for one another, playing for the manager. There's a good atmosphere around Cobham and around Stamford Bridge. I've seen all of the videos that you guys have seen about the way that the players walk onto the pitch before Southampton. It didn't look like they were interested. Okay, micro things like that we can manage, and I think even the game against Spurs will probably come out the tunnel a bit different because we are being scrutinised for everything right now, even by myself. Enzo has said to back everybody. He's the new man that we all love so much, so I'm going to listen to him. You know, tomorrow we have got the biggest game of our season, away at Tottenham Hotspur. The game at the Bridge earlier this season was incredible. We deserved to win it 2-0. We were mugged off by a referee. Spurs deserved nothing from that game. It finished 2-2, and Thomas Tuchel was gone only a couple of weeks later. I'm buzzing for this game. I've just got this weird feeling, call it blind, stupid, dumb optimism, all you like. I've just got a feeling that we do something magic away at Spurs tomorrow. I really do, and I hope for our season, for our players, and for our manager, I hope that we do. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't go sending death threats to Graham Potter. Learn how to express yourself without getting that low. It isn't just this man, Graham, that you're going to affect. It's a whole family of people. And it's also the way that he can approach his job to get the best for our club. So nobody wins from this. Don't do it. And anyway, speak to you guys later. Come on, you Blues.